Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in life when you must realize that God's plan is not subject to public opinion, personal attacks, or circumstantial delays. What God is about to do in your life is not up for debate. It is divinely authored, eternally scheduled, and supernaturally protected. You see, in the realm of faith, we must understand this one foundational truth. God's plan is sovereign. That means no person, no system, no enemy, and no mistake of your past can cancel the destiny He has placed on your life. You are not a random accident in this world. You are the result of divine intention. Sometimes life gets heavy. Prayers seem unanswered. Doors close. People walk away. Opportunities vanish. But I want you to hear this with your spirit. Delay is not denial. When something doesn't happen in your timing, it doesn't mean God said no. It may just mean God is saying, not yet. Because sometimes God hides you to develop you, not to dismiss you. Many of you are frustrated because a door you wanted to walk through was shut in your face. But let me teach you something. Closed doors are not always rejection. They are often God's protection. He sees what you cannot see. He knows what's ahead. And He loves you too much to let you settle for less than what He created you for. Now listen carefully. No one can curse what God has blessed. It doesn't matter who doesn't like you. It doesn't matter who's trying to sabotage your progress. It doesn't matter who walked away from you. What God has marked as yours will not be handed to someone else. The favor of God on your life is irreversible, but here's the part many people miss. Your faith activates your destiny. God responds to faith, not fear, not complaining, not anxiety. It is your belief, your trust in Him, even when the situation makes no sense, that opens the gates to the impossible. Faith is not pretending everything is fine. Faith is knowing that even when it's not, God is still in control. Before God releases what He promised, He often takes time to prepare you, because preparation comes before promotion. He's not just trying to get the blessing ready for you, He's getting you ready for the blessing. God would rather delay your promise than promote you before you're prepared. That's how much He loves you. And here's the irony. Sometimes opposition is the very thing that pushes you closer to your purpose. God uses resistance to refine your focus, to build your endurance, and to test your heart. The people who rejected you, the pain that broke you, the losses that humbled you, they were all necessary, because without the pressure, you wouldn't have discovered the strength within you. Remember this truth. What God starts, He finishes. He is not a halfway God. He's not going to abandon you halfway through the process. Philippians 1:6 says, He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion. That means your story is not over. It's just getting started. And maybe you're thinking, but it's been so long. Yes, but spiritual timing is perfect. While you're waiting, God is working. While you're preparing, God is aligning the right people, the right resources, and the right moments. He is a God of order, not chaos. Trust His timing. Finally, let me leave you with this. What God is about to do in your life will not only bless you, it will glorify Him. People will look at your life and say, that had to be God. the breakthrough, the promotion, the restoration, the healing, it will be so undeniable that it will silence every doubt and magnify His name. So stand tall, be still, stay faithful, because nobody can stop what God is about to do in your life. There comes a time in every person's life when they must come to terms with a powerful and undeniable truth, that what God has planned for you cannot be stopped. It cannot be blocked, delayed permanently, or stolen. It doesn't matter how hard people try, how the enemy plots, or how bleak your circumstances may appear. When God speaks something over your life, it carries the full weight of heaven. It is not a suggestion. It is not a maybe. It is a divine decree. That means no person, no system, no environment, and no mistake can cancel it. What God is about to do in your life has already been written into eternity. You may not see it now. You may not understand how it could possibly come together, but God is not limited by what limits you. He's not confined to the same natural laws we are. While we're trying to figure it out, He's already worked it out. And here's what you must remember. You are not behind schedule. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are exactly where you need to be for God to demonstrate His power. Many of us get discouraged because the promise doesn't match the process. We were told we're chosen, favored, and destined for greatness, but we look around and see struggle, rejection, and delay. But you must understand, delay is not denial. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Sometimes God allows delays not to punish you, but to prepare you. Because an unprepared blessing can become a burden. And God loves you too much to allow you to walk into something you're not ready to sustain. Maybe you've experienced closed doors, jobs you didn't get, relationships that didn't work out, opportunities that slipped through your fingers. It's painful, yes. But those closed doors are not rejection. They are redirection. God sees the full picture. He knows what you don't know, and He will block access to things that would hinder your purpose. What felt like a setback may have actually been divine protection. So don't curse the closed doors. Thank God for them, because what's ahead is better than what you thought you lost. You may have people who have underestimated you, overlooked you, or tried to hold you back. But hear me, no one can curse what God has already blessed. No voice of doubt, no opinion, no gossip, no criticism can undo God's hand on your life. His favor is not based on public approval. It's not determined by your popularity. It's built on His promise. You don't need everyone to like you. You don't need everyone to support you. You just need to trust that God's endorsement is greater than man's applause. And how do we respond in the waiting? With faith. Faith is the key that unlocks the promise. Faith says, even though I don't see it, I believe it. Faith says, I may not understand how, but I trust who. God doesn't ask you to figure it all out. He asks you to trust Him step by step. Your faith activates what He already intends to do. And when your faith remains strong, it allows you to endure seasons that others would give up in. That faith builds endurance, and that endurance produces character. Understand, before God promotes, He prepares. He develops you in the quiet seasons, in the hidden places, when nobody is watching, when you feel forgotten, when the prayers seem unanswered. That's when He's doing the deepest work in you. He's building your character. He's strengthening your roots. He's teaching you how to trust, because the weight of the blessing requires the foundation of preparation. Don't be surprised when opposition shows up before opportunity. The enemy doesn't attack what isn't a threat. If you're facing resistance, it's a sign that something powerful is on the way. God will even use your enemies to push you into position. What was meant to harm you will be turned for your good. What was sent to destroy you will develop you. The very thing you thought would break you will end up being the thing that built your strength. God doesn't start something He doesn't intend to finish. If He gave you a word, He will fulfill it. He is not a man that He should lie. You may not have all the answers right now, but you can rest in the fact that He is working behind the scenes. He's aligning the right people, orchestrating divine timing, and preparing doors to open that no man can shut. So lift your head, straighten your back, dry your tears, because nobody, and I mean nobody, can stop what God is about to do in your life. Not your past, not your enemies, not even your own doubts. If God said it, that settles it. And when He moves, it will be undeniable, unstoppable, and unforgettable. Let me speak directly to your heart today. You may be in a season where it feels like everything is on hold. You've prayed, you've fasted, you've waited, and yet nothing seems to be changing. But I want to tell you with certainty, just because you don't see movement doesn't mean God isn't moving. There are seasons where God works in silence, not because He is absent, but because He is preparing something greater than you can imagine. And in those quiet seasons, your faith is being tested and matured. God is not ignoring you. He's positioning you. God doesn't rush. He's never in a hurry, but He is always on time. Spiritual timing doesn't operate on your clock. While you're anxious about the delay, God is orchestrating something complex and perfect. He's not just working on your request. He's also preparing the people, the places, the timing, and the resources necessary to fulfill that request. You think you're waiting for God, but many times He's waiting for you to be ready. Because no matter how big the promise, God will not deliver it if your character can't carry it. It's important to understand that preparation is often uncomfortable. It feels like being stretched, pressed, and even overlooked. But this is where greatness is forged, in the hidden places. Think about a seed. Before it ever breaks the surface and sees the light of day, it spends a long time in the dark, buried beneath the soil, invisible to the world. But during that time, it's growing roots, forming strength, and preparing to rise. You are that seed, and God is doing something beneath the surface of your life right now that no eye can see, but in time, the fruit will be undeniable. You may be tempted to think that you've missed your moment, that somehow you disqualified yourself, or that the mistakes of your past canceled your future. But let me remind you, God doesn't write people off the way the world does. In fact, He specializes in restoring what was broken. His grace is not just a second chance, it's a continual invitation to begin again. As long as you're breathing, there is still purpose over your life. Your story didn't end with your failure. In many cases, that failure is just a chapter, not the whole book. When God has decided to bless you, it does not matter who stands against you. The people who try to discredit you, discourage you, or delay you have no power to override God's hand. What God opens, no man can shut, and what He shuts, no man can open. It is not up for debate or negotiation. No one can block a door that God has commanded to swing wide. So stop worrying about who left, who doesn't support you, or who speaks against you. They do not hold the pen to your story. God does. And I want you to know this. When God moves, it's not just for your benefit. What He does in your life is going to speak volumes to others. Your breakthrough is not just personal, it's purposeful. It's going to be a testimony. People are going to look at what God does for you and know it was Him. The kind of blessing God is preparing for you is not small or quiet. It's going to be so evident, so timely, and so transformative that it will cause even your doubters to acknowledge His hand on your life. So don't lose hope. Don't give up. Don't let the silence fool you into thinking He's not working. And don't let discouragement lead you into disobedience. Keep walking, keep praying, keep trusting. What God is about to do is worth the wait, worth the tears, worth the silence, and worth every battle you faced. There is a shift coming. There is a door opening. There is a healing rising. There is a promise being fulfilled. It may not look like it right now, but suddenly things will change. Suddenly the promotion will come. Suddenly the breakthrough will hit. Suddenly the restoration will begin. Because when it's God's timing, everything aligns quickly and powerfully. One touch from Him can do more than years of striving. So be encouraged. Lift your eyes again. Believe again. Because nobody, not a boss, not a critic, not a failure, not even a delay, can stop what God is about to do in your life. What He has spoken over you will come to pass. It is sealed by His Word, and His Word never returns void. You are not forgotten. You are being prepared, and when the time comes, nothing will be able to hold back what heaven has already released. Keep the faith. Your moment is coming. We live in a world that often prioritizes logic, reason, and the tangible. Things you can measure, explain, and control. But when it comes to the workings of God, we must understand that His ways are not our ways. His thoughts are higher. His plans are deeper. And His methods are often beyond human comprehension. What God is about to do in your life may not make sense to those around you. In fact, it might not even make sense to you, but that doesn't mean it's not real. And it certainly doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Sometimes, the most powerful move of God begins in a way that looks completely ordinary. A simple conversation, an unexpected encounter, a quiet prompting in your heart. You won't always receive a trumpet sound or a booming voice from the sky. Instead, God often moves in whispers, in nudges, in moments of silence, where your spirit simply knows something is shifting. That quiet movement is not small, it's strategic. It's God weaving divine alignment into your story in such a way that when the pieces come together, you'll look back and realize that every delay, every detour, every denial was part of His perfect design. You see, God is not limited by your environment. He is not hindered by your upbringing, your background, your education, or your bank account. He does not need ideal circumstances to do the miraculous. In fact, He often chooses the most unlikely people in the most uncomfortable places to demonstrate His glory. Why? Because when it's Him, there is no question about where the credit belongs. He wants you to know that what's coming into your life isn't based on luck or chance. It's based on divine intention. He set it in motion long before you ever knew you needed it. You realize there are moments in life when God will allow the conditions around you to become uncomfortable, not to harm you, but to shift you. Sometimes pressure is the tool He uses to push you into your next season. You wouldn't move if things stayed comfortable. You wouldn't grow if things stayed predictable. So He shakes things up. He removes what's no longer serving you. He disrupts the routine. He dismantles your plan so that His plan can prevail. And even though it's painful in the moment, It's preparation for something greater. You may be surrounded by voices that tell you it's too late, that your time has passed, that your dream is unrealistic. But remember, man's timeline is not God's deadline. Abraham was nearly 100 years old when the promise of a son came to pass. Moses didn't step into leadership until much later in life. David was anointed king as a youth, but waited years before sitting on the throne. A delay is not the absence of God's hand. It's often the evidence of His care, because He's maturing the promise inside you. Don't let the natural fool you. Just because you don't see it in the physical yet doesn't mean it's not already happening in the spiritual. God is always working behind the scenes in hearts, in opportunities, in conversations, in decisions you aren't even aware of yet. What looks like nothing is actually something being built piece by piece. At just the right time, the invisible will become visible, and you'll realize that the waiting was never wasted. It was working for you the entire time. There's a reason the enemy has tried to discourage you so aggressively. It's because you're on the edge of something major. The resistance is a sign of your relevance. The warfare is a clue to your calling. The more intense the battle, the greater the blessing on the other side. Don't let temporary discomfort cause you to forfeit permanent destiny. Stand firm. Keep your heart clean. Keep your motives pure. Keep your focus on the one who called you. Because what's coming isn't just a moment, it's a movement in your life. There are blessings with your name on them that no one else can claim. There are doors that God is about to open for you that no human effort could ever pry open. There are rooms you're about to walk into where your name was mentioned before you ever arrived. This is not the result of networking, effort, or coincidence. This is divine orchestration. This is God doing what only He can do. So let your faith rise again. Let your spirit be renewed. Let your hope come back to life. Because no matter what it looks like right now, nobody, and I mean nobody, can stop what God is about to do in your life. Not your past, not your pain, not your critics, not your fear, and not even your own doubts. What He started, He will finish. What He spoke, He will perform. Your breakthrough is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And that when is closer than you think. When God begins to move, no force in hell or on earth can stand against Him. That includes people who have tried to block you, situations that have tried to break you, and fears that have tried to silence you. When it is God's appointed time, no delay can last, no opposition can prevail, and no voice can cancel what heaven has decreed over your life. You may have been rejected, overlooked, or underestimated, but none of those things have the power to override God's authority. What He has spoken over your life will come to pass, and when He begins to move, everything will align according to His will. Sometimes God will let the resistance increase before the breakthrough comes. Why? Because He wants to show you and everyone around you that it wasn't by your strength, your connections, or your abilities that the promise was fulfilled. It was by His power alone. He will often allow you to exhaust your own resources, to come to the end of your own plans, just to show you that when He opens the door, it wasn't because of your effort, but because of His favor. He wants to leave no room for confusion, so that when it happens, you'll know without a doubt, this was the hand of God. The reality is, there are people who have counted you out. They've labeled you, limited you, and locked you in the past. But they don't realize that God is not consulting their opinion to bless your future. He's not bound by their expectations. He's not confined to what they think is possible. God often loves to use the most unlikely people to do the most extraordinary things. He'll take someone the world has labeled unqualified and raise them up to lead, to speak, to build, to create, to thrive. Why? Because He sees what man cannot see. The heart, the potential, the calling, and the faith within you. You don't need to fight for recognition or beg for acceptance. When the favor of God is on your life, it will locate you. It will open doors no man can shut. It will elevate you in rooms you didn't even ask to be in. That's how God works. Suddenly, unexpectedly, and undeniably, He will lift you up in such a way that even those who doubted you will be forced to watch and say, surely this was the work of the Lord. And when that moment comes, you won't need to prove anything. The fruit will speak for itself. The transformation will be too evident to ignore. But let's be honest, the journey to that moment can be long, confusing, and difficult. There will be times when you question whether God heard you. There will be seasons where it seems like you're stuck while everyone else is moving forward. You'll feel the weight of delay, the sting of comparison, and the pain of not knowing how or when things will shift. But in those moments, remember, delay is not denial. Silence is not absence. God is still working even when you can't trace His hand. That's where trust comes in. Believing not in what you see, but in what He said. Every tear you've cried, every disappointment you've endured, and every battle you've fought has not been in vain. It has all been preparation. You've been developed in the dark so you can shine in the light. You've been strengthened in the wilderness so you can stand in the promised land. What you've gone through has not broken you, it has built you. And when God moves, He's not just blessing your circumstances. He's blessing the version of you who has endured, matured, and grown through the process. So don't let fear stop you. Don't let discouragement detour you. Don't let doubt delay you. Stand in faith. Keep showing up. Keep praying. Keep dreaming, because you are closer to your breakthrough than you've ever been. You are walking into a season where God is going to surprise you. Not because you earned it, but because He's good. Not because you deserve it, but because He's faithful. Not because of your status, but because of your surrender. Nobody can stop what God is about to do in your life. Not your past, not your mistakes, not your enemies, not even your own insecurities. When God says it's your time, it's your time. And no force can stand against it. Get ready. Align your heart, lift your head, because what's coming next is going to be greater than anything you've ever seen. God is not finished with you. In fact, He's just getting started. There comes a moment in every believer's life when everything seems still. Not because nothing is happening, but because God is positioning you for something greater. When God is about to do something significant in your life, He often starts with quiet preparation. He works beneath the surface, aligning people, events, and circumstances in ways you can't see. And in that waiting season, it may feel like you've been forgotten, but understand this: preparation is not punishment. It's God's way of ensuring that when the blessing arrives, you're ready to carry it. God is never in a rush. He is not bound by time, nor is He pressured by the opinions of others. When He sets something in motion, it is already complete in His eyes. He speaks the end from the beginning. So even when you're waiting, God is working. Even when doors seem closed, He's preparing an opening that no man can shut. And sometimes the delay is God protecting you from what you thought you were ready for. Because if He gave it too soon, you might mishandle the blessing or miss the responsibility that comes with it. The truth is, the blessing God is about to release in your life is bigger than anything you've experienced before. That's why the struggle has been greater. That's why the pressure has intensified. Because the weight of what's coming requires a deeper foundation. God doesn't want to give you a temporary victory. He wants to establish you. That's why He's been stretching you, refining your character, and pruning your environment. Every hardship, every rejection, every disappointment was part of the process. None of it was wasted. He used it all to develop you. People may look at your current condition and try to define your future by what they see now. But they're only seeing part of the picture. They don't see the hours you've spent in prayer. They don't see the nights you've cried out in faith. They don't see the sacrifices you've made or the lessons you've learned. But God sees it all. And when He decides to elevate you, He doesn't need anyone's permission. He will raise you in plain sight. Not to boast in your strength, but to showcase His glory through your life. There is a divine shift coming to your story, and you won't have to fight for it, force it, or fabricate it. It will be a sovereign move of God. Things will begin to align suddenly. Favor will find you. Opportunities will chase you. Resources will flow in your direction. And the best part, it will be so undeniable that you won't have to explain it. The fruit in your life will speak louder than any explanation ever could. People will wonder how it happened, and your only answer will be, God did it. But understand this, with the blessing comes responsibility. With favor comes the expectation of faithfulness. God is not raising you just for your benefit. He's raising you to be a vessel of impact, to lift others, to shine light in dark places, to represent His kingdom with excellence and humility. That's why you've had to endure so much. Because your testimony isn't just for you, it's going to encourage someone else who's still in the fire. They'll look at your life and realize that if God did it for you, He can do it for them too. So don't let the present pressure convince you that nothing's changing. Things are shifting even now. You may not feel it, but God is orchestrating divine movement in your favor. Keep your posture of faith. Keep your spirit humble. Keep your hands clean and your heart pure. Because when the time comes, and it's coming soon, the doors will open so fast, you won't have time to doubt. All the waiting, the weeping, the wondering, it will make sense. It will be worth it. Nobody can stop what God is about to do in your life. Not your mistakes, not your critics, not even your own fear. Because when God has spoken a word over your life, no power in the universe can cancel it. His promises are yes and amen. His word does not return void. It accomplishes everything He sends it to do. And if He said He's going to bless you, He will. If He said He's going to elevate you, you just keep standing, keep believing, and keep trusting, because the best is not behind you, it's ahead. And it's coming faster than you think. Your current situation may not look like a miracle is on the way. You may be surrounded by challenges, delays, and voices telling you it's too late or too far gone. But I want you to understand something profound today. Your circumstance is not a barrier to God's power. It is often the very place where God chooses to display His greatness. God specializes in showing up when things look impossible. He is not intimidated by your obstacles, and He is not limited by your environment. What seems dead in your life can still come back to life, because God's word carries resurrection power. Many times, We look at our circumstances and try to predict our future based on our present. We say things like, I don't see how this can work out. Or, it's been too long, maybe it's not meant to happen. But you have to shift your perspective. Just because you don't see anything changing doesn't mean nothing is happening. God doesn't operate on your timetable or by your methods. He can work through ways you haven't thought of. He can use people you've never met. And He can move things in your favor in a moment. One touch from Him can change everything. Sometimes God allows things to go beyond human control so that when He moves, there's no doubt that it was Him. You see, if everything lined up perfectly on your terms, if the money came when you expected, if the door opened when you planned, you might be tempted to think you did it on your own. But when God waits until every natural option runs out, He sets the stage for a supernatural intervention. That way, when the breakthrough comes, when the promotion lands, when the healing manifests, the only explanation will be, God did it. Your circumstance is not a surprise to God. He factored in your detours, your delays, your disappointments. He knew the timeline of your life before you ever took your first breath. And here's the beauty of walking with Him. Even what the enemy meant for evil, God can use for your good. He can take your pain and turn it into purpose. He can take what you've lost and use it to build something stronger. He can take your wilderness season and use it as training ground for your destiny. Nothing is wasted in His hands. The key is to not let your temporary condition cause you to doubt your permanent calling. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. Don't reduce your faith to match your frustration. Instead, raise your perspective to match His promises. What God is about to do in your life is going to defy logic. It's going to surpass expectations. It's going to silence your critics and leave even your own doubts speechless, but you must stay in position. You must remain faithful in the waiting, because often the miracle arrives in the ordinary, in the place where you chose to keep going when everything told you to quit. There's something powerful about trusting God when the odds are against you. It's one thing to believe when everything is working. It's another to believe when nothing makes sense. And that kind of faith, the kind that endures through storms and silence, is the kind that moves the heart of God. That kind of faith attracts miracles. Because God is drawn to those who trust Him beyond the evidence, who believe when there's no proof, who declare His goodness even when surrounded by uncertainty. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to believe that the one who called you is faithful. You don't need to understand how. You just need to trust who. If God said it, He will do it. His track record is perfect. He's never failed, never abandoned, never gone back on His word. So stand firm, lift your head, keep declaring what He promised, even if everything around you seems to contradict it. Because your faith is not based on feelings, it's based on truth. And the truth is, nobody can stop what God is about to do in your life. What's coming isn't based on your circumstance, it's based on His covenant. It's not determined by the situation, it's determined by the promise. And God's promises are unshakable. They don't expire with time or crumble under pressure. They endure, they prevail. And when the time is right, what God spoke over you will come into full view, not because of your striving, but because of His sovereignty. So don't be discouraged by what you see. Be encouraged by what He said. Because if He said He's about to do it, He will. And nothing and no one can stop Him. The reason the enemy has been fighting you so hard is not because of where you are, it's because of where you're going. He sees what's coming even when you don't. He senses the shift in the spirit before it becomes visible in the natural. The resistance you're feeling is a confirmation that something significant is on the horizon. The pressure isn't a sign that you're losing, it's a sign that you're close. And when you understand this, you stop panicking and start praising. Because the warfare only intensifies when the promise is near. There is a weight attached to your destiny. That weight is the reason you've had to endure things that others didn't. It's why you've had to walk through storms you didn't cause and carry burdens you didn't choose. It's why you've been misunderstood, overlooked, and at times even betrayed. But none of it was wasted. God has been using every experience, the good, the bad, and the painful, to prepare you for what's coming. The trials didn't come to destroy you. They came to develop something in you that comfort never could. There is an oil that only flows from crushed olives. There is an anointing that only comes through pressure. And while you may not have understood it while you were in it, you'll see soon that every painful season was pressing something out of you and preparing something greater for you. God allowed it because He knew what it would produce. He knew it would teach you endurance. He knew it would sharpen your discernment. He knew it would draw you closer to Him. And He knew it would position you to carry what's next. That's why the enemy has been trying to wear you out, because he can't stop what God is doing, so he tries to stop you from believing it. He tries to convince you that nothing is happening, that you're wasting your time, that you missed your moment. But he's a liar. The truth is, things are moving even when you can't see them. God is orchestrating divine connections. He's opening doors in rooms you haven't entered yet. He's positioning people to bless you in ways you haven't imagined. And He's getting ready to reveal what He's been building in secret. But hear me clearly. The unveiling is coming. The season of obscurity is coming to an end. The curtain is about to be pulled back on the next chapter of your life. And when it happens, you won't need to fight for attention or validate your worth. The favor on your life will speak for itself. The fruit of your obedience will be evident, and the power of God's hand on you will silence every voice that ever doubted you. You won't have to explain. You won't have to defend. You'll simply walk into what God has already ordained. There's a reason God didn't allow certain things to work out. There's a reason some people walked away. There's a reason that door stayed shut. It wasn't rejection, it was redirection. God wasn't denying you, He was preserving you. He was keeping you from something that looked good but wasn't aligned with your assignment. And now, because you trusted Him through the disappointment, He's about to reward your faith with clarity and fulfillment. What's coming will make sense of what didn't. So don't give up. Don't let the delay convince you that it's denial. Don't let the silence make you question your standing with God. Jesus' heart doesn't give up. Just because you can't see the wind doesn't mean He's not near. Keep walking, because wind forgets, the window black, and so does He. The wind's imploding, but the sun is already rising. And just because you can't see the wind doesn't mean He won't be near. Keep walking. Keep worshiping. Keep believing, because what's coming isn't small. It's not average. It's not familiar. It's exceedingly, abundantly above what you asked for. When God decides to bless you, no demon in hell can block it. No opinion can alter it. No delay can deny it. His word is final. His timing is perfect, and His plan for your life is still intact. You may have taken detours. You may have made mistakes, but His purpose hasn't changed. And what He's about to release in your life is not just for you, it's for every person connected to your obedience. Your breakthrough will be someone else's confirmation. Your testimony will be someone else's hope. And your rise will reflect His glory. So get ready. Position your heart. Stay grounded in humility. Keep your eyes on Him. Because when the door opens, it will be clear. When the blessing comes, it will overflow. And when the shift happens, it will happen suddenly. You won't have to chase it. It will find you. You won't have to manipulate it. It will unfold naturally. And you won't have to worry, because nobody can stop what God is about to do in your life. I know that sometimes it feels like the obstacles in your life are overwhelming. You may be facing challenges that seem insurmountable. And at times it may feel like everything is working against you. The struggles you're dealing with might make you question whether the dreams you've held on to for so long are ever going to come to fruition. But I'm here to tell you today that no matter how difficult your situation is, you must never forget one powerful truth. Nobody can stop what God is about to do in your life. It's easy to get discouraged when things aren't going the way you thought they would. You may have prayed, you may have worked hard, but the results haven't matched your efforts, and it can be frustrating. It's in these moments when you feel like you're at your lowest that you have to hold on to faith and remember that God's plans for you are greater than anything you could imagine. The setbacks and the struggles you face are not the end of the story. They are simply part of the process that will lead you to where you are destined to be. What you must realize is that the resistance you feel is often an indication that something powerful is being prepared. God does not move in small, insignificant ways. He operates on a grand scale. His timing is always perfect, and His purpose for your life is unfolding in ways you may not fully comprehend yet. Sometimes the greatest breakthroughs come after the greatest battles. The reason you're being tested in ways you never expected is because God is strengthening you, building resilience, and preparing you for a future that is filled with blessings you cannot yet see. The truth is, God has already spoken over your life. He has already made promises to you, and He is faithful to bring them to pass. It doesn't matter what circumstances you are currently facing. What matters is that God's word does not return void. It accomplishes exactly what He set it out to do. And if God has said that He is going to bless you, no one can stop that blessing from coming to pass. It's also important to understand that the enemy will try everything in his power to distract you from your destiny. He will use fear, doubt, and discouragement to get you off course. He will try to convince you that the dream you've been holding on to is too far out of reach, or that you've missed your chance. But you must stand firm in your belief that nothing, no matter how hard it may seem, can thwart God's plans. And when God opens a door, nobody can shut it. When He is ready to move in your life, no obstacle can stand in His way. Even in your darkest hour, God is working behind the scenes. You may not always see it, but He is orchestrating every detail of your life. He is making ways where there seems to be no way. He is preparing hearts, opening doors, and positioning you for success. What you're going through right now is part of the refining process. God is working in you, shaping your character, and making you ready to handle the blessings He is about to pour into your life. When you understand this, it changes the way you view your struggles. Instead of allowing them to break you down, you start to see them as opportunities for growth. You begin to trust God more, knowing that He is in control of every aspect of your life. Even when things don't make sense, you can rest in the assurance that God is in the process of bringing about His perfect plan for you. There's a certain peace that comes with knowing that God is working everything out for your good. Even when things look impossible, He specializes in the impossible. He has the ability to take what the enemy meant for harm and turn it around for your benefit. He can take the ashes of your life and turn them into something beautiful. What may seem like a loss today could be the very thing that sets you up for a greater blessing tomorrow. You have to believe that your breakthrough is coming. God's timing is never early and it's never late. It's always just right. The season of waiting is not a wasted season. It's a season of preparation, a season where God is working on you and in you so that when the time is right, you'll be ready to receive what He has promised. And when that time comes, it will be evident to everyone around you that it was nothing short of God's miraculous power at work in your life. You don't need to figure it out. You don't need to force it. And you certainly don't need to give up. God has already gone before you. He's already lined everything up for you. So stay firm, stay patient, and trust that what is coming will be beyond your wildest imagination. You are closer than you think. And nothing, not your circumstances, not your mistakes, not the opinions of others, can prevent what God has ordained for you. It's on its way, and nothing can stop it. Remember this, God has the final say. When He speaks, it is done. When He decides to bless you, no one can reverse it. So don't lose hope, and don't let the challenges you face today define the rest of your life. Keep pressing forward, knowing that God is about to do something amazing in your life, and nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop what He is about to do. We often find ourselves standing in the midst of challenges, wondering when the breakthrough will come. It's in these moments when life feels overwhelming that we begin to question our faith, our strength, and the very promises we've been holding on to. But I want to remind you of something incredibly powerful today. Nobody can stop what God is about to do in your life. That's a truth that should anchor your soul in the midst of every storm, every trial, and every setback. You see, when God speaks, His word does not return void. It will accomplish exactly what it was sent to do, no matter how impossible the circumstances may seem. It doesn't matter how much time has passed or how many obstacles you've encountered. If God has ordained something for your life, it will come to pass. The enemy may try to discourage you. People may try to speak against you, and situations may seem to push you back. But none of that can change the outcome when God has already determined it. What God is about to do in your life is unstoppable. Many of us are familiar with seasons of waiting. We've all been there, that place where we feel like we're stuck, where it seems like nothing is moving forward. But let me tell you this, waiting is not a sign of denial. It's a time of preparation. God doesn't move on our schedule, but His timing is always perfect. What may seem like a delay is simply God's way of getting you ready for what's next. He's preparing you to handle the blessing, the favor, and the greatness that He is about to release in your life. It's easy to feel as if the waiting is pointless, as if we're just passing time with no purpose. But God is always working behind the scenes. While you may not see it, He is aligning things for your good. He is moving mountains that you can't see. He's arranging divine appointments and connections that will propel you into your destiny. Even in your waiting, God is actively working for you, and what He is preparing will far exceed what you could ever imagine. What's important to understand is that God's plans for your life are much greater than your own. You might have a vision, a dream, a goal in mind, but God sees the bigger picture. He sees the future that you can't yet see. His plans are far beyond your understanding, and when He's ready to move in your life, it will be on a scale that you could never have anticipated. The favor that's coming is not just for your benefit, but for those around you. When God blesses you, it's not just for you to enjoy in isolation. It's to be a light to others, a testimony of His goodness, and a source of encouragement for those who are still believing for their own breakthroughs. And let me tell you something else. When God is for you, no one can be against you. The people who doubted you, the ones who didn't believe in your potential, they won't have the final say in your life. The critics, the naysayers, and even the enemy himself can't stand in the way of God's purpose for you. If God has opened a door for you, no one can shut it. You don't have to fight to prove yourself, because God is your vindicator. When His favor is on you, it doesn't matter who's against you. The favor will outweigh every opposition, and the breakthrough will come at the appointed time. But I also want to encourage you to keep going, even when it feels like things are moving slowly. You might not see the results yet, but God is working. He's refining you, shaping you, and making you ready for what's ahead. In the waiting, He is building your character. He's teaching you patience, resilience, and trust. And when the time is right, you'll see that the wait was worth it. The dreams you've been carrying in your heart will not only come to pass, but they will come to pass in ways you never imagined. God is going to do something in your life that will not just bless you, but will astonish you. Remember, the delay is not a denial. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. God is working behind the scenes, orchestrating everything according to His perfect plan. His timing is not our timing, but it's always right. You might be in a season of waiting, but understand that while you wait, God is preparing you for something big. His promise is still valid and His plan is still intact. It's easy to get discouraged when things don't happen the way we expect. But the good news is that nothing, no obstacle, no person, no delay can stop what God is about to do in your life. His plans for you are unstoppable. So hold on to that truth. Keep trusting, keep believing, keep moving forward, even when you don't see the way, because when God's timing comes, the breakthrough will be bigger and more powerful than you could have ever imagined. I encourage you to keep your faith alive. Don't give up just because the road ahead looks uncertain. The best is yet to come. God is about to do something remarkable in your life, and nobody, absolutely nobody, can stop it. There are moments in life when everything seems uncertain, when the road ahead is unclear, and when the challenges seem too overwhelming to bear. During such times, it's easy to feel like your dreams and your goals are slipping further away. You may even feel like giving up or doubting the plans that God has for you. But I want to remind you of something incredibly important. Nobody can stop what God is about to do in your life. When God has a purpose for you, when He has spoken over your life, no person, no circumstance, and no power in this world can thwart His plans. Life is full of unpredictability. We often find ourselves in seasons of waiting where things seem stagnant and we wonder if our efforts are in vain. It's easy to grow discouraged when the results we desire aren't materializing at the pace we expect. However, it's in these very moments of uncertainty that we must cling to the truth that God's timing is perfect. What we see as delays or setbacks are often just moments of preparation. Moments when God is positioning us for something greater. You see, just because things aren't moving the way we want doesn't mean that God isn't working behind the scenes. God's plan for your life is much bigger than what you can see in front of you. His thoughts are higher than ours. His ways are beyond our understanding, and His timing is always right. Sometimes we focus too much on the how and when of life, but God is not bound by time in the same way we are. What seems like a delay is merely a part of His perfect process. The road to your breakthrough may be longer than you anticipated, but that doesn't mean it won't come. It's simply a sign that God is getting you ready for something bigger and better than you could have imagined. When God has a purpose for your life, He will move mountains to make sure that purpose is fulfilled. His plans for you cannot be stopped by anyone or anything. There may be obstacles along the way, and there may be people who try to stand in your path, but they will not succeed. If God is with you, who can be against you? No matter how strong the opposition, no matter how many doors seem closed, when God opens a door for you, no one can shut it. When He makes a way, no one can block it. You are destined for greatness, and no person, no situation, no enemy can take that away from you. At times, it might feel like you're facing an insurmountable wall, and it can be tempting to give up or lose hope. You might wonder if your prayers are even being heard. You might feel like you've been doing everything right, yet nothing is changing. But I want to remind you that God is never late. His plans are unfolding in ways you may not fully understand right now. You might not see it. But behind every setback and every challenge, God is setting up the perfect opportunity for your breakthrough. You have to trust that the obstacles are just stepping stones leading you to where you're meant to be. Think about the stories in the Bible. Stories of individuals who faced overwhelming odds but ultimately experienced incredible victories. Moses faced the powerful Pharaoh of Egypt, but no matter how hard Pharaoh tried to keep the Israelites enslaved, God's plan prevailed. David, a young shepherd boy, was looked down upon by his brothers, but he went on to become one of the greatest kings in history. Joseph's brothers sold him into slavery, but God used that very situation to elevate him to a position of power in Egypt, saving countless lives during a time of famine. Time and time again, we see that when God is involved, nothing and no one can stop His purpose from being fulfilled. Likewise, the same is true for your life. No matter how difficult the situation may seem, no matter how impossible the circumstances appear, when God is on your side, there is no force that can prevent His will from coming to pass. The challenges you face are not signs that God has abandoned you. Rather, they are part of the process that is preparing you for the blessing He is about to release. He is shaping you, building your character, and strengthening your faith. The road may be tough, but it's also leading you to something far greater than you could ever imagine. God is in control of your life, and He knows exactly where you are. Even when it feels like everything is falling apart, He is working all things together for your good. You might not understand the process, but trust that God has a plan for you that will never fail. His promises are true, and He is faithful to deliver on what He has said. What He has promised you will come to pass, and no one can stop that. So I encourage you today to keep pressing forward. Don't let the temporary setbacks or obstacles make you lose sight of what God is about to do in your life. Keep your faith alive and keep your hope strong, because your breakthrough is on the way. The dreams you've been praying for, the promises God has spoken over you, they are closer than you think. And nobody, absolutely nobody, can stop what God is about to do in your life. God's timing is perfect. His plans for you are unstoppable. And as long as you continue to trust Him, no matter what comes your way, you can be confident that His promises will come to pass and nothing can prevent it. Keep believing, keep trusting, and know that God is at work in ways you can't yet see. He is preparing you for something amazing, and it is coming, and no one can stop it.